Why do some black people, particularly black men, need racist people to hard R them to the face for them to understand that they're racist? Now that Donald Trump's account on Truth Social posts dehumanizing images of former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama depicting them as animals, now you want to galvanize the troops?
It's essentially involving the President Donald Trump posting a video depicting former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama as apes. Anybody who doesn't speak against him on this is complicit. You're telling us what you think about black people. This requires universal condemnation.
It's a chaplain of the culture, Yale MDiv, and Black Church Studies scholar. Here we mix faith, culture, experience, and we make that hoe dance. Like really, why do you need a dancing monkey? Actually, let me tell you. It's the narrative that everything is not about race. And this denial of racist behavior by black people, particularly blacks for MAGA, which was heavily male-dominated. This denial is rooted in the fact that those people do not want to admit to themselves when someone is racist because it's not much that they can do about it except for and moan like the rest of us, and because you look down on the rest of us for being victims, in order to distance yourself from your perceived or from that perceived victimhood, you turn a blind eye to racism if it's not a hard R on it. Because as long as it's not a hard R, you don't have to feel powerless when racist events or conduct or behaviors ensue. You can ignore it and act like it doesn't apply, so then you're able to let it fly. Basically, it's ego. And as much as I understand and sympathize with the idea that I don't want to spend my precious time and existence on earth always calling out racism and racist antics simply because I'm black and a Eurocentric America. I mean, race is a construct. It's not even real. So that doesn't sound like a happy life to me. I find it challenging, though, to understand how being willfully ignorant is a happy life. Because you're choosing not to see something. It's not as if you don't actually see it. I can't imagine my time on earth pretending I don't see what I see. That doesn't sound like a happy life either. Stephen A. Smith, until this very point, you yourself have been complicit.
Do I like him scaling black, a connection to black history, the Smithsonian Museum and other things with executive orders? No, I do not. But I'm not sure I disagree with the tariffs just yet. I certainly don't disagree with what he's done with immigration.
So you mentioned the Smithsonian, that you don't approve of erasing black history, but then you dismiss it. All in the same sentence by lifting up that you may be in favor of the tariffs, and it seems like you're unapologetically in favor of capturing the Venezuelan president. This is the definition of complicity because you don't have non-negotiables. Your tariffs this and immigration that. Bruh, dude is whitewashing black history. That should have been enough. That should have been hard stop. Taking away federal jobs, which impacted black unemployment the most. That should have been a hard stop. And unless revenue from tariffs go to all the people that he put on the unemployment line, then tariffs. And personally, folks are screaming immigration, immigration, immigration. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I was in a car accident in Dallas, Texas once. Now, 4 cars have hit me, all right? I've been 4 altercations where cars have hit me. And the person in Texas may not have had a license and he may have been from a different country. He may have been an immigrant. But the other 3 people who plowed into me on these American roads were white women. And I want y'all here. And honestly, if we're being for real about it, even if, let's say, everybody who was from a different country, who participated in social services, they all got deported. Y'all ain't seeing 1 red cent of that money. The federal government is going to absorb every last dollar. But let's be for real, that money will probably go to a foreign country to fund another genocide before you see it. Before you'll ever see it. But back to Mr. Smith. Well, I guess that makes me Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
Being complicit is choosing not to call out racist behavior, racist conduct, or in this case, racist policy. Just because it's not explicit or obvious.
That's why you've never heard me calling them racist and comparing them to Nazis. He was cool with us.
Some of us didn't need to see a racial trope to see who Mr. Trump was. Some of us saw that this duck was actually a duck when he signed an executive order rescinding equal employment opportunity, which required anti-discrimination policies for federal contractors and subcontractors. That was one of the first things he did when he got into office, which was a policy that was enacted during the civil rights era. Some of us saw that this duck was actually a duck when he signed an executive order ending all programs that support DEI, which includes the Small Business Association, which had a clause to provide grants, particularly to women-owned or underserved-owned businesses. So basically, they had a stash of money, particularly for women who own businesses, minorities who own businesses, underserved community groups who own businesses. They had a stash set aside, which is now considerably less. It was like this big, now it's like this big, all right? Some of us, again, knew when Trump signed an executive order militarizing state police while simultaneously making it more difficult to hold police accountable for misconduct. Executive Order 14288. Look it up. And now, Mr. Smith, you want to talk about being complicit. You were just holding space for him when he kidnapped the Venezuelan president like a thief in the night.
And every time you hold out hope that Donald Trump is going to do that, he does something like this.
Again, as much as no one wants to be a victim and feel powerless to the dominant culture, I struggle to see a healthy alternative as ignoring racism because it's not a dancing monkey. At the end of the day, as I have said before, oppression is sin and liberation is prosperity. Truth is, none of us have to feel powerless to racism and oppression and oppressive policies. We can galvanize the troops. We can take our power back, but it requires us to have non-negotiables. My non-negotiables are harm, danger, and violence. If the narrative, the behavior, the policy, etc. will lead to harm, danger, or violence in any way, shape, or form, we need to find a different way to achieve our goals. This podcast is predicated on John 10:10. You might know it from Forever 21, okay? Rest in peace, Forever 21. But John 10:10 will always live on. It will always be relevant. And it says, the thief come to steal, kill, and destroy. I have come so that they may have life and have it more abundantly. If we believe what we say we believe, we have to take abundance seriously. And in order to take abundance seriously, that means we have to have zero tolerance for oppression and oppressive policies and oppressive narratives. We have to have a zero policy for it. If we believe that Jesus has come so that we can have life and have it more abundantly. But that's all for now. It's the Chaplain of the Culture, here to expand ideas and grind your gears. And I'll see you soon.